As you listen to these words now, isn't it fascinating how the mind begins to shift? How at every breath, something deep inside starts to loosen, unravel, release. Because for so long, you carried things that weren't yours. Beliefs, expectations, rules you never agreed to, but somehow followed. And what happens when you realise those rules, they don't apply to you anymore? Maybe they never did. Maybe the version of you, the ones that needed them, no longer exists. When you think about that, what else becomes possible? Because now, as you allow yourself to let go, naturally, effortlessly, you notice something new emerging in that space. A feeling, a knowing, a certainty that was always there, beneath the noise, beneath the old stories, beneath the patterns that no longer serve you. And doesn't it feel good to realise that you don't need to hold on anymore? That you don't need permission, because you are permission. That you don't need to prove anything, because your existence is proof enough. And hasn't it always been that way? Because when you were a child, before the world told you who to be, you already knew. You knew how to love without hesitation, how to dream without limits, how to take up space without questioning whether you deserve to. And when did you forget? Or maybe the better question is, when did you start remembering? Because now in this moment, something is shifting. Something's waking up inside of you. Like a light flickering back on after a long sleep. And knowing, a certainty, a deep, undeniable truth that echoes to your entire being. You're worthy. You're deserving. You're allowed. Allowed to want. Allowed to need. Allowed to take up space. To follow your desires. To step fully into your power. Not as an apology, but as a statement of fact. As you think about that now, how does it change the way you see yourself? Because people, they don't remember what you say, do they? They remember how you make them feel, and you carry something different now. A presence, a confidence, a certainty that radiates outward, touching everything around you. And isn't it fascinating how natural it all feels? Because it's already happening, isn't it? And maybe it already was. Because as you breathe in now, deeply, naturally, something shifts, doesn't it? Because for so long, you carried thoughts that weren't truly yours. Expectations, rules, silent agreements you never consented to. But now something inside you is waking up. Something that knows, on a deep, undeniable level, that you were never meant to live confined by those limits. And isn't that an interesting thought? What if every belief you once held could change? What if every rule you thought was set in stone was just an illusion? And as you realise this, something loosens, something unravels, something releases. Because the truth is, you're allowed. Allowed to want, allowed to need, allowed to speak, allowed to feel. And hasn't it always been this way? Because when you were young, before the world told you who to be, you knew. You knew how to laugh without permission, how to dream without limits, how to move through life with wonder and confidence. And somewhere along the way, you forgot. Or maybe you were made to forget. But now, isn't it fascinating how easily you remember? Because right now, in this moment, that deep truth, it's settling back into place. That feeling of certainty, that sense of rightness, that knowing that you're worthy. Worthy of love, worthy of passion, worthy of taking up space. And as that truth grows stronger, something shifts. The old limits, the old fears, the old doubts, they begin to crumble, don't they? Because what happens when you fully own your desires? When you no longer apologise for what you want? When you realise your needs, they're not a burden, but a birthright. That there was never anything wrong with you, but only with the beliefs that told you otherwise. When you think about that, what else becomes possible? Because people, they don't remember the words you say, do they? They remember your energy. They remember how you make them feel. And now, as you step into this new version of yourself, people notice. They feel it. The confidence, the certainty, the ease with which you move through life, knowing without question that you belong. And isn't it fascinating how natural this all feels? Because it's already happening, isn't it? And maybe it always was.